Good evening. My name is Mo, and this is the first of my videos. This is a channel that I'm now setting up. There'll be an associated website. The focus of this channel is Black consciousness, Black awareness, and how Black individuals can navigate the existent environment in which we live to attain success. That success is defined as financial success, personal, mental, well-being success, and personal health success. You're not successful if you have $10 million, but your mind is fucked up. You're not successful if you have $100 million and you're out of shape. High blood pressure, hypertension, heart issues. That's not successful. Successful is holistic. Being successful means you're financially independent, you're mentally stable, you're physically fit, and you are moving towards the attainment of your goals in your life. You're expanding yourself. That's success. Now, in light of that, I'd like to talk about where we stand today as a society, as an American society. And I'd like to start off by discussing social media and what, in my opinion, has been the adverse impact of social media on society. When I talk about social media, I reference Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. I do not frequent any of these venues, but these are the ones that I've heard about. Now, if you think about it, in a normal encounter with another human being, face to face, the first thing I see you see is your image, what that person looks like. If you're keen and observant, you will notice that person's body language. So when you interact with that person, these are the dynamics that are involved in that interaction. In having a conversation with someone, you speak, they listen, they respond, you listen, you respond, and the conversation goes back and forth. It may go from topic to topic, it may center on one topic, but there is that interaction back and forth. Now, look at social media. In social media, there is no face-to-face interaction. In social media, people contrive these fantastic delusional images of themselves. Now, it's okay to live in a fantasy world and within that fantasy world engage in your fantasies. For example, if you can't dribble a basketball, you could go live in a fantasy world. Maybe play a video game. Maybe go on Facebook and tell people about how great a basketball player you are, even though you don't know how to hold a basketball. If you've never played a sport, you might be 200 pounds overweight and have 40% body fat, which is extremely unhealthy. But you may sit your fat ass down and play a video game and think you're the baddest athlete based on playing that video game. The problem is when you take that fantasy and bring it out to reality and expect the same rules to hold. I've played sports all my life, and I know getting in a ring, going toe-to-toe with someone is not a fantasy. Because if I'm in that fantasy world, I'm going to get knocked out quickly. I played quarterback in high school, running back in college. In that fantasy world where I could take all the hits, it doesn't matter, that's good. When I get on the football field and I start taking those hits, I'm going to be dragged off that field in a stretcher. The problem today is that people are living in a fantasy world. People are deluded. They are out of touch with reality. You have a lot of stupid little nerds running out here thinking they're something special and they can't do a goddamn thing. You have a bunch of little punk rap motherfuckers running around out here thinking they gangster, whatever. But when you step up to them, they run and call the police. This is the reality that we're living in today, where people are out of touch with reality. People are living fantasy lives. Men are consumed with video games, and they think the video games are reality. And they think because they're good at a video game, they're something, but they really ain't shit. Now, I'm from LA, California, Adams and Normandy, territory, home of the Rolling 60 Crips. And in LA, you have a lot of pretentious people. But some of them are doing appearances on TV shows and movies. Some of them are working to one day put an album out. Some of them are in college. So even though they're pretentious, they're still working on something. They still have some sort of ambition. But I want to talk about Columbus, Ohio. Unfortunately, I've been stuck in this city for about 2.5 years. Fortunately, I'll be leaving within the next 2 months. And I thank God for that every day. Because Columbus is a very, very strange place. I've been to Detroit. I've been to Cleveland. I've been to Chicago. They're all in the Midwest. But the people in Columbus, they're in something else. I have never seen such worthless, loser idiots as I have seen in this city, yet who think they are special, who think they're God's gift to humanity. You look at these little men. Most of the men in this city are fat or skinny, no muscle tone. All right, white men and black men. You go to the gym. I used to go to the gym. I go to Gold's Gym in Venice, and I'd have these huge monsters out there working, and it would give me motivation to see someone squatting 600-700 pounds. That's why I got up to squatting 500 pounds. But you go to the gym these days, and you see these stupid little weak men who don't even know what they're doing, but they in there living some fantasy. And the problem is they stand in your way of who's trying to do something with yourself, with your life. From what I've seen, these are backward, primitive people. All of them. Backward and primitive. They're living in a time that is way, way gone. You could even say they're living in the Flintstones era, bedrock, all right, Stone Age. That is their mentality. They're backward. They have no ambition. The men are lazy. The men are lazy as shit. I've never seen such lazy men in my life. They would rather spend the next 10, 15 years working in a warehouse, earning $13, $14 an hour, than take their stupid little selves to college. And Columbus State, which is a community college, costs no more than I think $200-$300 a class. OSU, a state university, which will pretty much accept anyone, because it's not an elite school. It's a school full of average people. Costs no more than 3 to 6 thousand a year. But these little idiot lazy men would rather spend their whole lives working some stupid little jobs than advancing themselves. The problem is, if you are a person who has goals and ambition, what these little losers will do, they will stand in your way. They will try and disrupt everything that you're doing. That's how pathetic they are. They don't want to do shit, but they don't want you to do shit. Let's talk about the white people in this city. Man, these are some backward, nerd, geek, piece of shit, loser white people. These are the most pathetic white people I've ever seen. And I've been to New York. I've been to Toronto. I've been to DC. I've been to LA. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Atlanta. The white people out there are about something. They're about something. These little shit white people in this city, Columbus, Ohio, they're about nothing. And they are racist as shit. They are racist as hell. The funny thing is, they're so racist, but everything they do, they're trying to be black. They try to talk black. They try to walk black. They try to act black. Yet they're racist. Remember, this is Trump country. Now, the thing about them is, they're used to these little weak black men out here. And I'll get to the black people in a second. So, they're not used to a black man that will stand up to them and push back on their bullshit. They're used to black men who will bow down, succumb to them, and do whatever the white men want the black man to do. So when they encounter me, a black man who does not and has never taken shit from a white person, and they bring their shit to me, and I stand up to them, guess what they do? They make things up. Oh, he said this, he said that, he said this. I have been kicked out, banned from 3 gyms. The YMCA, Lifetime Fitness, and LA Fitness. Simply because I would not allow these little shit crackers to harass me. And I stood up to them. And it shocked them. And they went to management, who was white, and made stories up to have me kicked out. 3 different gyms. I play sports. Played sports all my life. Even though I'm not a professional athlete right now, I might be one day. Who knows? The things I'm working on. As a result, I'm always out there training. I'm not training right now. It's cold as shit. But when the weather's nice, I'm out there training. And when I train, I don't want stupid little nerds watching me. But I get these stupid little nerd white people who come following me around like dumb little dogs. Following me around everywhere I go. And when I tell them to get off my back, they start talking shit. So when I get in their face and say, fuck you, these little nerds call the police. I've had the police call me at least 10 times in this stupid little city of nerds. 10 times. These little racist white people. I've been kicked out of McDonald's. I've been kicked out of Starbucks. I've been kicked out of Panera Bread. I've been kicked out of Easton Town Center simply because I will not bow down to any little piece of shit white person. And these are some pathetic ass, backward, primitive, uncivilized, nerd, loser white people. I'm not saying all white people are like that. I've met some very good white people in LA, New York, DC, Virginia, Atlanta, Maryland. But the ones in this city, the ones in the Midwest, there are some very backward, primitive, racist pieces of shit. And let's talk about the black people in this city, because a lot of times when I went to Howard and I lived in DC and I worked in DC and I was in corporate America in senior positions where white people reported to me and answered to me, those white people are exposed to successful black men and women. They're exposed to intelligent black men and women. They work side by side with capable black men and women. So in their mind, they see these successful black men, and it's hard for them to say black people ain't shit because they see that next to them every day. But in this city, I have met the most pathetic, worthless black people on this planet. They're all Uncle Toms, and they're scared. They are scared shitless of white people. They would rather go out there and talk shit to another black man or beat up a black woman than stand up to a white man. I worked in a warehouse where you had these black men that were busy as hell doing all they could to kiss the ass of their white supervisor, their white manager. I used to wonder whether they sucked his dick. That's how pathetic they are. They are Uncle Toms, and they're consumed with envy and jealousy. The last thing they want to see is another black person striving or succeeding. It consumes them. It kills them. And they also live in this crazy status quo. They're deranged. They can't think for themselves. They're told how to act, how to talk, how to walk. They cannot. That's how dumb these niggas are. That's how dumb they are. There used to be a time when the only white woman that you'd see a black man with would be fat and ugly. Now, you go to New York, DC, Virginia, Maryland, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, Oakland, and you see a black man with a white woman, and that white woman looks good as shit. But out here, you still have that backward mentality where these black men are out here chasing the ugliest, most hideously ugly white women, fat, overweight. It just the sight of these white women just makes you want to just jump off a cliff or something. That's how ugly they are. But these white men love them. These white men love them. They love them so much that these fat, ugly white women have now come to expect that all black men should be drawn to them. That's how pathetic they are. These black men have no ambition. No ambition. I left corporate America because I was developing a trading system. And I also wanted to learn about construction because I want to be a real estate developer. My trading system is complete. I'll take it live not next week, but the week after. The returns, very promising. At a minimum, I'm expecting 100% return a week and no potential for loss. But I had to take a step back. I had to make sacrifices. And so I had to do little jobs here and there to keep myself going while I was developing this. In doing those jobs, warehouses and so forth, construction sites, I encountered black men who are happy to spend the rest of their lifetime working in a warehouse, making $13, $14 an hour. They're happy. It makes them happy. They have no ambition. You talk to them and say, why don't you go to college? Oh, that's too much time. Oh, that's too hard. But sacrifice yields results. But they're too lazy. They want to play their video games. They want to get on Facebook. They want to go to clubs and chase women that they never gonna fuck. That's how dumb they are. These black men, these niggas in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio. These little idiots making $13 an hour, okay, with 3 children from 3 different mothers that they have to pay child support on. So that $13 an hour is going to give you maybe $500 a week. Take out child support, that's about $200-$300. You only got about $200 left over. These little idiots would go spend $500 a month in rent and go out there and finance a $30,000-$40,000 car. You're making $13 an hour and you're financing a $40,000 car. And then they'll go to Macy's or wherever and buy these fancy clothes, their little gold chains, so they could go out and stunt. They got no money in their pockets. Everything about them is pretend. But if they see you and you've made that sacrifice for something bigger in the future, and so you're living at a low level right now, with that intent that in due time you will move up to a higher level, they assume that you're nobody because you're not out there pretending to be something that you're not. But when they find out that you're actually onto something, then they want to disrupt everything that you're doing. I've had these idiots call me a crackhead. I've had them call me homeless. I've had them call me a bum. When I was in corporate America, I was making $200,000 a year. I looked at the numbers. Less than 1% of black men, black people, make over $100,000 a year. So I was earning more than 99.7% of black people. And if I so chose, I could go back to corporate America within a week or 2 weeks, and I guarantee I'll make at least $120,000, $150,000 a year. Yet these stupid little black people, because I'm not living beyond my means, I'm not driving a fancy car, assume that I'm nothing. I'm 10 times more intelligent than them. I'm a hell of a better athlete than them. I'm a hell of a better musician than them. But because I don't show off, because I don't play by their stupid little status quo rules, I'm nobody. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. I also suspect that probably 70% of the black men in this city are homosexuals. Down low homosexuals. Because they have the most feminine attributes I have ever seen. The most feminine attributes I have ever seen. When I, as a man, take keen interest in another man and keep following that man around wherever he goes, I am a homo. Straight and simple. I use the F-A-G-G-O-T word, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. They're little sensitive idiot men. 70% of the men in this city are homos. In Atlanta, you have a lot of homos, but at least they come out and let it be known that they're homos. In this city, 70% of the men are homos, 70% of the black men, and they're undercover. And 70% of the black women are lesbians. This city is sick. Let's talk about the black women. The black women are confused like hell because these black women will focus on the imagery on the car that a man is driving, the clothes that a man is wearing, the chain on the man's neck, but not reality. So you get a lot of these black women in this shithole city called Columbus, Ohio, who wind up with many babies by many men. I've met women that have 7 children, and they're not even over 30 years old. They got 7 children. And I ask them, how many fathers? 7. And they take pride in that. That's how fucking dumb they are. I really miss DC, New York, especially DC, because you have so many successful, intelligent, ambitious black women out there compared to these worthless loser black women in this city. The other thing is, these black women are ugly as shit. They're fat, they're ugly, they're just ugly. But they think they're so beautiful. They think they're so beautiful. And they think that you, as a black man, should run around chasing them. I went to DC, Atlanta. You get women that are beautiful, successful, doctors, lawyers, engineers, and they'll chase you, a black man, once they see that you're about something. These dumbass women out here, they'll chase the car, they'll chase the clothes, and then they'll get fucked and tossed to the side. I wonder what happened. The men they're dealing with are losers, which makes them losers for chasing losers. That is why I've come to the point where I no longer deal with these black women. Because if I go to a Starbucks and I'm sitting there with my laptop working on something to advance myself, and the black women come in there and look at me and judge me by the clothes that I'm wearing, but the white women, the Asian women, the Indian women come in there and they see a black man working on his laptop with databases, with Excel spreadsheets, with financial charts, stock market, producing music. In their mind, they say, that's a black man that's doing something with himself. And they overlook my physical appearance, the clothes that I'm wearing, and there's now an interest. Where is this guy going? What is his future? What is he about? These black women, all they care about is superficial shit. And they love these loser men who are going nowhere. So based on that, I've made the decision that I no longer bother with these ugly ass fat black women and their little stupid attitudes. They like losers. The men they chase are losers. So I'll leave them with their losers. And I focus now on white women, Asian women, and Indian women. This is the first video of a series of videos. Eventually I will set up a website, and that website will be focused on black empowerment, black consciousness. I just want to state, these videos, this website, is not meant for everyone. There are only certain people that I want to associate with, that I want to interact with. And those people must meet the following criteria. They must have a high level of intelligence. Depending on the system, average intelligence could be a 120 IQ or it could be 100 IQ. So we'll just state average intelligence is 100 IQ. And we'll say genius intelligence is 140 IQ. My IQ is 185, which makes me significantly more intelligent than a genius. As a matter of fact, there are less than 10,000 people on this entire planet out of 7 billion that are as intelligent or more intelligent than me. 10,000 out of 7 billion. So not necessarily a genius. So if a genius is 140, average is 120, I do not want to associate with anyone that has an IQ of less than 130, which means you have to be above average intelligence for me to interact with you. I've been an athlete all my life, and I appreciate athletes, their mentality, because to be good at a sport, you have to have discipline, consistency, and focus. You have to get out there and train hard and push yourself. So you have to have an IQ of at least 130. You have to play some sport and play it well. Because there are a lot of these little shit nerds out there that will get on a basketball court and waste time because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They'll get on the soccer field and waste time because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I do not want to associate with those losers. So, at a minimum, you played high school sports. At a minimum, you have an IQ of 130. And you have to be artistically inclined. Whether you write poetry, whether you write novels, whether you create film, whether you compose music, not produce, compose. When I say compose, I mean you understand what a treble clef is, what a bass clef is. You understand what a major third chord is. You understand what a minor scale is, what a major scale is. You understand the difference between a 16th note and a half note. All right? That is being a musician. And you can either play an instrument, reading music, not playing by ear, reading music, or sing, or write. So you have to have an IQ of at least 130. You have to be an athlete. You have to be athletic. You have to be artistically inclined. You have to have ambition. I do not want to associate with losers who are going nowhere. You have to have ambition. If that ambition could be something as simple as, I want to finish my bachelor's, then I want to get out there in corporate America, but I don't just want to sit there doing the same job. I want to keep moving up. I have a goal. If you're an accountant, I want to be a CFO one day. I want to be controller one day. All right? Ambition. You have to have a positive attitude. I am tired of dealing with negative people. I'm tired of dealing with haters. I'm tired of dealing with envious people. I hate them. I don't want anything to do with them. So if you're one of those, stay away from me. You have